turn it over to Matt Schoenecker. He is a 5-time Topper Club agent, championship qualifier. He's been an agency owner since 2011. His fun fact was his first policy was a Bristol West on his beat up Ford Explorer. So good to get those Bristol ones in there. I love this quote. I'm grateful every day for what Farmers has provided myself and my family. It's a wonderful company. I'm proud to be part of Farmers. We're excited to have Matt here. Thanks, Robin, for setting this up. They've had the Choice products for several months more than us, so he's had a chance to kind of get his systems and processes dialed in. So going to turn it over to him and let him kind of talk through how he uses Choice in his agency and chat in questions. Livia and Robin will read them as they come through if you want to ask how he's doing stuff or what's working best for him. This would be best as an interactive one. So welcome, Matt.
Thanks for having me, guys, and what a great start to your meeting. I love all the results you guys do. That's kind of nice to have so you can keep the competition up every month. I just looked and I'm shocked. I thought we've only had Choice for maybe a year. We've had it since early 2024 now. So we've had quite a head start on you guys. When we first got Choice, we didn't have Alta, so it was a little different. When we started, it was a lot of input. So we had to, we're quoting Farmers, Bristol, then we'd have to go to the Progressive platform, then we'd have to go to the Nat Gen platform. It was pretty time consuming. I'm kind of happy we did that. We got to learn the systems a lot easier on all of them. But since Alta has come out, it has made it a million times easier. And I think you guys have Alta, if I'm not mistaken now. So
we do.
Okay, it's awesome. Dive in, get to know it. It's not going anywhere. They're only making it better and better. I know it's a change, and change is hard, but it is, once you get rolling and have your staff buying into it, it is amazing. Our just real quick, our one call closes through the roof. We're making them all day, every day, because now with the Alta products, we're quoting Farmers, Bristol, all of them at one time. So we're really training our staff on how to keep people on the phone for a lot longer. We want every call to be at least 10 minutes. Of course, that's not happening every time, but if you could keep a client on the phone for at least 10 minutes while you're working these quotes up, your chance to make a sell right there goes through the roof. So back to Alta. So we're quoting everybody in all four right away. We're of course trying, in Oregon, Bristol is really good right now. So we're trying to get the Bristol or the Farmers right away, and then we move over to the other ones. We're closing, our close ratio probably before we got Choice was 10%, 10 to 12 on auto insurance, pretty similar to home. Since we've got the new product with Choice, we're at 30 to 40% close rate on everything. We're able to capture a whole bunch more. The awesome part that our agency is seeing, a lot of people, I get it in our state, a lot of people are like, why the heck am I writing this? I'm only getting 6% commission. The independents are getting 15. What are we doing? Waste of time, not making any money. My favorite part of this program is the attitude of the staff. Even if our staff sells a renter's insurance policy, I look out there, their mood is amazing. They're making a sale. They're feeling good. And it's the same with Progressive. It's the same with National General. When they're making a sale, the atmosphere in the office just goes through the roof. They're not making a ton of money on it, but their mindset changes. And I can tell that there's more sales happening even after a let's say a monoline Nat Gen policy. So I've bought it, and there's a lot of agents that aren't using it. I think that just having that alone is well worth using it. Now that we've had it for so long, last month, we keep an Excel spreadsheet for every policy we write. And every 2 weeks, we look at that and see who's coming up on renewal. And we're calling those clients. We're quoting them beforehand. We're moving them into Farmers or Bristol West. We did close to, I think we were just over 35,000 last month in Farmers premium. from progressive policies that are in our office that we've moved over. So if you guys are just starting this, my biggest piece of advice is get an Excel spreadsheet, have one person in your office control that, and always know where those policies are, because there is so much money to be made on these down the road. And then the other thing is cross sell. So you write a Progressive auto. I tell my guys, you're only gonna make a small percent of that commission. But if you're able to cross sell that with a farmer's renters or a farmer's home or a life policy, you'll get a big chunk of that commission compared to just a monoline. So it's driving results as far as getting more business into farmers as well. I was on a call last week and looking at the difference from last year at this time, our agency didn't have a good month. We're a small premium state. We were like 40,000 in premium for the month. And this last month, the same month this year, we hit 115,000 in premium. And they said, well, what changed? And I would say the choice program, because we're building our own lead factory with all of our leads coming in that we're capturing. We have, rather than spend $1 zillion still on our EverQuotes or Quote Wizard or whatever, we have our own lead pool. Not to mention, I know Nicholas just said it, the recommendation engine. I mean, that is massive. I've always had a win back strategy, but now having those in front of your face, having staff look at those and be able to offer them a product that's not farmers, and then eventually move them over again. There's so much opportunity out there with this right now. Yeah, like I said, I know that a lot of the farmers execs like to say game changer, but this truly has been a game changer here in Oregon for us. And again, biggest piece of advice is go all in with it. Get to know the products, get to know the systems, and it's a lot easier than just Policy Center. So Alta is really good.
Hey, Matt, you said last month you did 115,000. Was that 115,000 between choice and farmers, or was that 115,000 just in farmers?
Just farmers, personal lines. So
okay. How much would you say you did with choice?
In Oregon right now, farmers in Bristol are really good. So we probably did 10 to 20 grand in choice last month.
Okay.
We're putting a lot of stuff. I'm knocking on wood. Like, we're putting Bristol West in Oregon is amazing right now. Every 2 weeks, I swear they're going through a rate change where the rates are coming down. So we're beating Progressive a lot right now, which makes it easier for us to move that stuff over. But again, we're still putting quite a bit into Progressive and that gen. When we do have, I think you just said that earlier, we do have Safeco and Travelers. We don't do a ton of that, just due to customer experience. You still have to go through the Craft Lake portal where you email in the quote, takes a couple days. It just the customer experience and time, it just hasn't worked for us. But hopefully down the road they change that a little bit and give us direct access.
Nice.
Yeah, like I said, if anybody has any questions on what we're doing, how we're doing it, ask away, type in. But I'm excited for you guys. This is going to be a great thing for you.
Hey, Matt, can you speak to how you're training some of your staff to pivot into some of the choice opportunity? And so, like, maybe we're tracking, away from farmers if we're feeling like we're losing a sale, and how are you guys pivoting into it?
So we really, we go hard. We train on sales every day. So we're all about trying to get, the sell with farmers, any farmer's product we can. We're selling value. We're selling claims. We're selling our office. If we could just we all know price is a major factor. So if we know, we can hear it that's just not going to work. We're trying to ask what the client is being charged, as we're chit-chatting on the phone with them. At that point, then we bring up, hey, we have a brokerage. Let's check over there. We do have a couple other options. And really, we already know what it is because it's right in front of our face. So then we'll go that direction. And that works. You're still trying, and during that call, we're like, hey, we want to move you over into farmers. I've already talked up how great the experience is with farmers. So in 6 months, when you come up on renewal, expect to hear from us. Expect a phone call. We're going to try to get you in here, but in the meantime, let's put you with Progressive or whoever until we can. I would also say, I see, the commission structure, I'm sure every state is different. So we get 60% commission on these. If my producer only, sells the monoline, 40% commission is what they receive. If they cross sell that with anything else with farmers, it's 60%. We do have, Progressive does have renters and home now. It's 40%, even if they do the whole thing over there. It doesn't make sense. Our, my inside sales team and service team, they're doing a lot of work on those. So we need to make sure we get a farmer's product on almost all of these to make it make sense.
So,
And then go ahead.
so I was just gonna ask, so to track that, are you guys just doing a spreadsheet or do you guys use a platform to track which ones are cross sold into farmers?
Yeah, so we do an Excel spreadsheet. I've got a giant whiteboard in everybody's office. So when they make a Progressive or a NatGen sale, and then a renters, they're writing it on the board for us to track that. I haven't found it. Excel is the easiest way. There's not a really easy way to do this. With Choice, it's a little delayed on the commissions. It's getting better, but it's still on Folio. It's still delayed. So when they make a sale in my office, I'm paying them on the next Folio. I'm paying them on the next thing, even if it doesn't show on my Folio. It's just it's too hard to track that the way it is. So I'm giving them, I can see when it gets charged back later on, but in the meantime, I just pay them for what they have up on my board until it comes off. But Excel is the easiest way to do it. So you can track it and try to cross sell it into farmers later on. And I give renewal commissions to all farmer stuff. I don't with the Choice, it's impossible. We don't do any kind of renewals on those. Each producer is responsible to keep their own Excel spreadsheet and try to move those over. I do have my office manager that has a main sheet that she watches and makes sure everybody's trying to get those over because we don't want to miss any opportunities. So if somebody's, slacking off and not moving those over, we're going to send those to another producer so they can make the sale and move it over. Nowadays, we all know, like, we don't want to miss any opportunity. We're in growth mode. We want to get as many policies through the door as we can right now. So every travel trailer, every boat, every motorcycle, everything that we have there, we need to make sure that we're bringing on, especially these ones that we're moving over.
Is there, do your producers have their own spreadsheet, or are they dedicated to that Choice client that they sold in the past to try to convert them over to farmers, or how do you kind of divvy up who's going to go after the conversion stuff?
Yeah, so if one of my producers sells the Progressive or the NatGen policy, they put it on their own Excel spreadsheet. And then on top of that, my office manager has her own massive spreadsheet for everybody. So she's putting it on there as well. So just a little bit of checks and balances. The only person that can go after that, the first person, is that producer. But again, if they're not doing their job and letting these things slide out, we have ways to see that, and then we can, divvy those Progressive leads up. So if we lose a producer, that, we still have access to all of that stuff.
Yes. How have you used it for retention? Has it affected the retention of your overall book as far as when renewals come up, and are you moving stuff from farmers over to Choice products, or how does that work in your agency?
Great question. So when they first rolled this out, like, they scared the heck out of us. Like, hey, do not move anything over. And we didn't for I think the first full year, I think I might have moved 5 policies from Farmers to Progressive. And our retention, I was like, God, our retention is not great right now. We were low 80s. And we have this product, and they've lifted that a little bit. We still don't move a ton of stuff over, but we are following up on every morning we get who's been shopping alerts. We use those like crazy. We text them and say, hey, let's have an FFR. If we need to move them over, we'll move them over if it's only about price. It's got to be a significant difference for us to do that though. And then again, our big thing is I know we work these and I know we're trying to get them back into Farmers eventually. So to me, it's not as big a deal as it used to be, just because I know eventually they're gonna come back. Things are always up and down. So our retention rate, to answer your question directly, it's way up this year. I mean, we're growing policies. I think I just looked the other day, we're 168 in the plus this year so far. And so a lot of that is due to just keeping our clients.
Nice.
Is your
Matt, I
onboarding
have a question. Sorry.
Yeah.
What does your onboarding process look for new clients given a different product? Does your office manager take care of that? Because obviously you've got, your insurance cards and your online, getting your account set up, that type of thing. How do you manage that?
Yeah, great question. So my producers, they do a really good job of trying to do as much as they can right off the bat. So if they sell one, they're printing off the cards. Progressive or NatGen usually sends out an email. We're emailing right away. We're emailing them a receipt. We're emailing them instructions on how to do the sign on, and we're emailing them an insurance card. And then they'll take the printed stuff of that. They'll go up, drop it off at the front desk. And during that call too, we're going to say, hey, we're going to send you a DocuSign. It's the signature page that says, hey, we rejected the Farmer's product. That's really important. You guys get that. I was audited already one time. They picked 5 policies and said, hey, show us the rejection form. We've been wonderful at that. We had all 5 of them back over to them in like 3 minutes. And then that was good. So make sure, I'm not saying everybody is, but just make sure you're getting that signed. But anyway, so we drop off the insurance card, we drop off the receipt at the front desk. So we're emailing, and then we drop it in the mail as well. And then the front desk, they make notes. They have a follow-up call in 3 days, and they call, welcome the client again, introduce themselves as our CSR. And then they make sure everything is signed and good to go. So we try to wrap all of that up. Of course, it doesn't always happen in 3 days. There's, of course, those people that don't sign or whatever, but within 3 days, we're trying to capture all of that info. So it's a team effort between the sales team and the service team.
Matt, we have a lot of agents that use Agency Zoom. Are you just using Apex, or are you using any other CRM?
So Apex we have to use just because that's how we search for clients. But I've used Agency MVP forever. I know all the great things that Agency Zoom has, but I haven't jumped on board. MVP I've used for 5 or 6 years, and I haven't found anything broken with it to switch yet. So it's worked out really well. I know this new Ricochet thing is awesome, and so that might change my mind once I do a demo on that. But yeah, Agency MVP is what we use.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions out there from some of the agents? Any comments on how you're using it? Any glitches you're finding, or anything you want to ask Matt?
Yeah, Matt, is there a choice product that you feel like you're writing most of your business into right now, or at least has a higher close rate?
I mean, probably Progressive. The other thing, Progressive, you really want to make sure you get the right info. I know it's kind of a pain sometimes if you're only texting a client trying to get a quote out, but they have a lot of discounts. Find out what the actual mileage is they're driving. If there's a lot of people that don't drive many miles, and so you could put 6,000 to 8,000 miles on the car, makes a huge difference. Sometimes you're going to have to prove that on renewals with photos. But if how many times did we get that call that's like, why am I paying so much? I'm only driving my car a few miles a week. And so Progressive has that option. I mean, we do here at least. And then as far as work goes, make sure to put in the correct thing or as close to it as you can. You'll get a good discount there. We've also done the what is it, the snapshot thing. I think you have to take a little course to get that on there. I do it just to kind of train them. So when we do move them over to farmers, they're trained to have something like that. So we can get that signal discount with farmers. That's another thing I want to hit on too. The signal, we're trying to put that on everybody. And I know it's a pain. I know most of ours, really, we've done it. I mean, we always know the people that it goes up and then we're frustrated. We think that, signal doesn't work. But most of the time we don't hear from the people that the rates are going down. So signal really does work. And those few people that it does go up, just move them over to Progressive for 6 months, give them that snapshot. And then after 6 months, move them back. Now they know they have to be better with that signal app. Farmers loves that anyway. They're really trying to get to that. Who knows, but I think that's the wave of the future. 5 years from now, that's probably how we're all going to get rated for our insurance. But so yeah, that's a big one. Again, if there's disruption, we always do our best for servicing our clients in choice. But if there's disruption over in Progressive, billionaires, whatever, it's a great conversation. Hey, come over to farmers. I've been building relationships with our adjusters for 15 years. I know a lot of people over there. We can make this a whole lot easier, even if it is a few bucks more.
Matt, early on, you talked about cross-selling life insurance. What's that culture like in your office? Has it changed with Choice, or is it the same that you're asking everyone, or can you speak to that?
Yeah, good question. We're still asking everybody. I don't think it's changed at all. It's just given us more people to talk to about. All these people we're putting in Choice that we wouldn't have won without it. Now it's just more people down the road. There's more referral opportunities and more chance to sell life insurance. It's just given us a better chance to win overall. Again, I think the company, again, we've had it for a lot longer. I'm seeing the results. So I'm chugging the Kool-Aid right now, but I really do think that the company is they want us to win. They're giving us the tools to do it. It's thinking about 10 years ago, if you would have said we could have Progressive right now, we started laughing, and now we have it. It's awesome.
Natalie had a question. When rewriting from Choice to farmers, are you considering that new business or a rewrite, since you'll be getting a chargeback on a Choice policy?
Yeah, I don't even really look at the chargebacks on the Choice policies. I look at it new business. I'm going to make that new business bonus per month. So I'm giving, my team's working hard to move those over. So I'm giving them a full commission. I'm not charging them back. Really, there shouldn't be a chargeback anyway, because they're not renewing. So most of the time it's right at the renewal date, they're moving them over. So you don't get paid in advance with the Progressive policies. So there really isn't a whole lot of that. And you guys know with folios, I mean, it's impossible to track every single line. So I really having a good staff that trusts you as the owner and you pay them the right way and you're not nickeling and diming them, that makes the world. And so everybody, I don't have a whole lot of turnover. Just due to that, I trust them. They work hard. And so,
Awesome.
yeah.
Thank you. Devin had a question too, kind of an issue that he's running.
You muted yourself, Robin. I think the
And then you
question,
lost Robin.
yeah, I think the question was, if you write somebody with Progressive, does it work the same way as Progressive Direct, where the MBRs ran 30 to 60 days after the policy starts and rates tend to increase? Or is the point of sale portion of starting a new business the full MBR report and the rate is locked in?
I mean, we're running the MVR right away. I mean, not every time, but if somebody says, hey, I love this price, let's move forward, then we're, okay, let's run the MVR. You could see all the tickets and accidents. So I have not run into that. I don't want to tell you that that doesn't happen because I'm not sure. But we could see the MVR after we run it with Progressive. And the one thing with Oregon, maybe it's there in Minnesota too, but Progressive does go back. They're like 5 years. They're pulling tickets. They're pulling all of that. In Oregon, we're 3 years with Farmers in Bristol West. So it's a little bit different. I don't know how they get away with that. It should be the same insurance department, but it definitely pulls a lot more through Progressive than it does the other ones. And one other point I wanted to make when you're doing, if you guys just got Alta at the same time, are you guys a credit-based state? Do you guys based on credit or?
Yeah.
So at the end of your quote, when you hit view all other quotes and it's a husband and wife, there's a tab at the top that says duplicate quote. And it's not like it used to be with Express where you have to get out and type the wife or the husband's information and do the whole quote again. You just say duplicate primary named insured. All the info comes over and within 15 seconds at the most, not even 15 seconds, you're having that exact same quote come back to you under the husband's name or the wife's name. And you can pick, the cheapest one right there, and it is huge. So now I know, well, hey, I can look at my producers, I can look in Alta to make sure they're quoting both of them. But we're not missing anything because there's sometimes it's $1,000 difference to quote the wife compared to the husband. So definitely make sure your teams know about that primary named insured duplicate button.
That's a good tip.
Do you have any, I guess, pointers, anything that you've noticed that agents need to be wary of, whether it's an Alta or some of the carrier platforms, like, hey, do not do this, or make sure you double check this?
That's a good question. I would go back to, get that signature page or have a DocuSign. Like if some people don't sign things. So if you have a DocuSign, your own DocuSign, and you could see that you sent it to the client the same day that you sold it, and Farmer says, hey, have you done this? You could show them that receipt. Like we have made attempts to do that. The other thing I would say is Progressive they'll look at trends. If you're giving everybody 6,000 miles a year, they're going to audit you for sure. So make sure if you're doing that, you're getting an email or you have some kind of a paper trail, make, real-time notes. But it's like anything, you can't just put everybody as a doctor in there, even though they don't ask for proof, but they do look for trends and they will shut your access off if it goes one way. So it's just like Farmers, do it the right way and we'll keep it for a long time. It's always my biggest fear is people doing it wrong and then we lose the program.
Early on, Matt, you talked about like your sales process using the one call close, trying to keep them on the phone for 10 minutes, and you guys do some skills practice each day. Do you use a certain sales platform like Insurance Sales Lab or something like that? Or how are you structuring your sales training?
Yeah, we do Sales Lab. I love it. It's been one of the best things that have come out. I'm excited. I'm going to his live training class here at the end of July down in Dallas. But I make everybody go through the full one call close class. We're not doing every morning meeting during the week, but we do at least two of their 8 a.m. calls where we're all in the office, in the conference room doing some role play. For the longest time before that came out, we never did that. We just assumed, hey, we're great at sales. No, we're not. Like Michael Jordan still practiced every day and he was amazing. So we still are training like crazy. And I tell my guys, like, you might have a great day today on sales, but we can get better. So it's a sales job. You need to perfect your art here. So if you're not doing it, it's well worth the investment.
Good, nice. Appreciate that. Any other questions in the chat box? Say, if not, we're gonna end in 10 minutes early, so that never happens. So give you guys a few minutes of your day back. But big thank you to Matt for coming on and sharing this. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of it. It's very helpful. Robin, I appreciate you reaching out and setting this up. We'll send you guys all the video replay and a copy of the slides. Matt will make sure we copy you on it. Thanks again for your time. Guys, thanks for a great last month. It was our biggest month ever for total premium. Looking to continue to build and capitalize on that. So thanks. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you all soon.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, dum, bum, bum, bum.